All right, guys, we're up here last with Malik to go over Stephanie Vaquer versus Iyo Sky for the vacated Women's World title. Malik, what's good, man?
What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Wrestlepalooza, first ESPN PLE. I want your opinion on this. Is this a big thing or is it just another PLE to you?
It's I guess how you're looking at it from the fans. I guess the majority of the fans are upset because of the prices and all the other stuff going on with TKO and everything. For WWE, it's a big deal, though. I mean, to be featured on ESPN, that's a level up, step up for their business. Because growing up, we all watched wrestling at one point, and there was times when no sports brand was covering wrestling. Sports Center, ESPN, nothing. It wasn't looked at in that same limelight. So it's a big step business-wise for them to be looked at in the same regime as boxing and UFC and all these other, promotions out there. So it's good for them, I'm sure. But for the fans, the $30 and everything, it's kind of like, nobody really wants to pay that anymore, especially when you got streaming devices now and everything. So I guess it's like a 50-50.
Yeah, jumping up 4 times, going from 8 to 30 is kind of a lot, but It is what it is, right? Man, we grinded tape on CW. We grinded tape on My TV. We're finally, ESPN is a big deal, man. I remember watching ESPN. I'm going to show my age a little bit here, but I remember as a kid coming home from school and AWA was on ESPN.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, a little gray in the beard, but yeah. But so it is a big thing. ESPN is kind of like a dirty brand anyways, so it kind of goes 1 and 1, right? So it kind of is what it is. But I was just curious in your perspective here. All right, this match is low-key probably if I was to take an estimate, this would be the best overall match on the card from a match quality standpoint. Has a chance to be so, and that is because the night after WrestleMania, and I want to say around SummerSlam, these two girls had really, really strong matches, showed a lot of chemistry in ring, and the bar is high. You have the mixed tag is like a spectacle. You have Brock Cena is like a even bigger spectacle. The Usos is a tag match. I don't really think that's going to get the heat to get there. And Cody and Drew is in their first match. This is going to crown the vacated champion. I think this match may steal the show from a quality standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I said the same thing in my predictions too on TikTok and other platforms. That's like, this match could be match of the night potentially. I mean, I'm not saying that it definitively will, but this is a match people definitely need to be looking out for.
You think it'd be a good spot to open the show with this?
Probably not. Somewhere towards the middle. I feel like the opening match probably will either be Lesnar and Cena or maybe the mixed tag or Cody and Drew. It'll be one of those big matches.
It's weird, right? Yeah. It's a very star-studded show. It's very like the match quality you could see on a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam. So this is a big thing, and you can't go wrong, in my opinion, to pick any one of these 5s to really open. I don't see the Usos opening, but any 4 really opening, I don't think is a wrong call.
Right, yeah.
No doubt. All right, so what do you think about Iyo Sky right now? She's in the mix with Asuka and Kyrie, are kind of lingering with their bitterness, and probably Asuka's starting to play mind games. Iyo just wants to kind of keep the cool and focus on her goals. And that's kind of lingering with Rhea Ripley, who has that budding friendship with Iyo Sky, the rivalry, respect, the kind of the same level. And Iyo has never lost to Rhea. So what's going on with that? I don't want to say mess. I think it's interesting enough to kind of warrant a feud in the outcome of this. I think it'll probably be Rhea and Iyo versus the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, Iyo right now is, I guess, in an okay spot. Something interesting there with Kyrie Sane, with Asuka, and all that aspect. Rhea Ripley kind of dabbled in the mix as well, too. So she's kind of in an interesting spot right now. I think this is one of the people Triple H definitely likes for sure. I mean, he's clearly shown that since NXT on the main roster. By the way, she's used now. Granted, her championship reigns, as far as what the run is afterwards, booking wise, have been asked, but she has the resume, the accomplishment. She's somebody that has been used, in like the limelight as this is one of our top women's superstars in the division, so I think she'll always kind of be in a pretty good spot, if I'm being honest.
So I went to Raw last night, and probably the right word is yearning for Rhea Ripley to appear at the end of that segment with Kyrie versus Vaquer was probably the biggest anticipation out of all of these women here. So that
Yeah.
Rhea is stuck thrown down your throat and is not over is definitely not a thing. She's over as hell, just to kind of put that out there.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt. So, all right. Is it too early for Vaquer? Does she need to go through trials and tribulations? Does she need to establish her character more before she gets this belt? Or is getting this belt right now a part of her journey to bigger and greater things?
No, she's a superstar. Some people just have it. Some people don't need to have certain bills or need to wait. Like some people, you could tell they just have the aura. They, have the enthusiasm that screams superstar. She's one of the individuals. I've been saying that it's not going to take WWE long to strap a rocket to her back and push her to the moon. Now, if Naomi was champion, I don't think she would have beat Naomi necessarily because she had just won it. And Naomi, I think they were building up as one of the top stars in that division with that character. But Stephanie was somebody that I was looking at to win the Rumble in Saudi. Like, I was like, I could see that happening for her. Like, she's somebody that I think they want to establish as a superstar. When her and Julia first came into NXT at the same time and everything, Julia was getting the title in at first and everybody. I was telling everybody, like, Stephanie's going to be the one that's going to get the shine. She's going to be the one that's going to be the star. Not saying that won't happen for Julia, but it's going to happen way faster with Stephanie opposed to Julia. And I don't think that's going to change. I think she's somebody that she could reach the popularity of a Rhea Ripley on the main roster, if I'm being honest. Like, she has that charisma. I think she has that type of connection. A little Riz in there as well, because everybody's going to goon. It's nothing wrong with that. But she has all the credentials. So I don't think it's too early for her at all. I mean, they need some new fresh stars as well. Look at the past champions, kind of been repetitive. Iyo was cool, but she's already been champ before. Bailey's already been champ before too. Nia's been champ before. Of course, you got Charlotte and Becky and, all these other people who have been the champion, but this is somebody who hasn't accomplished that on the main roster. And obviously, I worry for her when it comes to the booking after she wins the championship, but that's with every champion, right? That's with Tiffany, that's with Iyo, with Liv, like literally every champion you could think of. But me personally, I don't think it's too early at all. I could fully buy into it. Like, she's somebody that if I'm WWE, I'm not wasting any time to establish her.
It's just like, because you brought up WrestleMania, you win the Rumble and you build to a WrestleMania, and that is your crowning moment. And if they were to crown her here and then she would still have those plans to win the Rumble, but then they take the quote-unquote crown off of her, would it diminish that inevitable Royal Rumble to WrestleMania build? I think she can overcome whatever they want to do here. I feel like going back to Iyo, I don't want to say it's a mishap, but it's kind of the same song and dance a little bit, even though I don't think Rhea's stale whatsoever. I just think that she's kind of caught up in the Kabuki Warriors. She's caught up in whatever they got building with Rhea Ripley. And I don't know. I do agree with the sentiment that Naomi was going to continue past at Clash of Paris as your champion, but she went through the pregnancy or whatever. So honestly, I don't know who to pick in this match. That's why I'm kind of talking in circles all around it too. Do you have a definitive winner on who you're picking?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Stephanie. I don't think, like I said, if Naomi was still champion, I don't think she would have won that, but I think that would have been a good showing for her to be like, hey, she's somebody that we're looking at. Just keep an eye on her. And I think the Rumble would have been a spot for her, but plans change and Naomi got pregnant. Congratulations to her. She's going to be a mother. That's big. I just feel like Iyo doesn't really need it. She has the other stories going on right now with Asuka and Kairi Sane, and Rhea and Stephanie, I think, is a more interesting matchup right now. Even though there is a story there with Rhea and Iyo because Rhea has never beaten Iyo, and they told that story going into Mania and everything. So you could always do that, but Stephanie and Rhea could be new, could be something fresh, and I feel like now could be the time to establish her. Why wait? You know what I mean? Like, there's one thing about the Triple H era, sometimes they like to wait, to establish people with the long-term storytelling sometimes, which I get and understand, but some people I feel like just have it. You're going back and look at Lesnar when he first came. Like, he just had it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason he won the championship like 6 months after being introduced on the roster and was beating The Rock and beating Undertaker. But at the time, you bought into it. You believed it. Like, he had the look. He had the skills. He had everything. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I see that guy as a main event guy. I see him as a top star. I feel like Stephanie is the same way. I could see her in that limelight. So if Iyo wins, it wouldn't be the worst thing. But comparing the two, I just feel like, you know what? Do something different. Give it to Stephanie. I hope that they give her a proper booking afterwards, but that's to be determined. But I think it's more interesting for Iyo to lose, especially without the help of Asuka and Kyrie. You know, looking at a Raw, and she's talking about she doesn't want the help of them two and everything. And I feel like that adds more to their story. You know, that adds more because obviously Asuka is crashing out. She's on this
You came up
power.
short. You could have used us, so on and so forth.
Yeah, she's on this power hungry, you know, control thing with Kyrie and, you know, and Iyo and stuff like that. And that obviously is going to set up between Asuka and Iyo, you know, a feud right there. And that I don't think really needs the title. So I think Stephanie's going to get it.
My gut tells me that too as well, even though my head would kind of deflect some reasoning. That's why I don't think it's a full-fledged Vaquer, you know, minus 1,000 betting odds. I would probably say Vaquer, you know, minus 200 and Iyo probably plus 160, right? I could definitely see a lane where Iyo would win, and then they would look past Wrestlepalooza for a bigger stage to kind of crown Vaquer. All right, Malik, I'm with you. I'm just going to go Vaquer. I just going to go with my gut instead of my head here. So all right, that's it for this preview, Malik. Thank you as always for jumping on, and we'll see you on the next one, pal.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.